You guys are going to enjoy this build. Lately I've been playing with Burston Prime for quite a bit, and to be honest I think I've made a really good build. So today we are going to talk about the Burston Prime, the Incarnons that I use, and also the build. And I'm also going to show you some recommendations when it comes to which Warframes to use with Burston Prime. Okay, so first of all I wanted to showcase the damage with no buffs from my Warframe, like active abilities, no Riven. Wait. As you can see, this thing actually quite shreds. And you have to remember, this is the base damage. And you're going to have this amount of damage with basically any Warframe that you want, since I have no abilities equipped whatsoever. And to be honest, maybe for the past few days I had too much fun with this build. Okay guys, I'm going to start by showing you the build. But we need to have a talk because it is a little bit complicated. Okay guys, first of all we have to talk about the base stats of Burston Prime, because there is one important thing. Incarnon form has hit proc. And I was thinking to myself like, let me just combine this with cold. And what do we have? Explosion. I have a terrible obsession with exploding things. So you are going to have cold procs when it comes to the normal form, and Incarnon has blast. But then there's another problem. Our Burston Prime isn't going to do that much damage when it comes to armored enemies. And what do? We are going to armor strip them. And now the normal version and the Incarnon form are going to have corrosion. And when it comes to the galvanized mods, I usually use the aptitude for status chance and direct damage, and the chamber for multi-shot. This one, I don't really like it, to be honest. So I want you to also equip primed rifle ammo mutation, or better, vigilante supplies. You are going to run out of ammo quite quickly. And this can also give you a boost in damage. And I've also managed to apply serration for extra damage. And when it comes to critical chance and critical damage, critical delay, and vital sense. And the best arcane, in my opinion, on this build is going to be Primary Merciless. The nice thing about Primary Merciless, you also get reload speed, which you kind of need because the magazine is kind of low. And this is going to be a universal build that you can use with any Warframe that you want. And we also need to talk about the Incarnon evolutions, because especially the second one is going to be very important. And I want you to pay really close attention to this evolution. You can choose between this one and this. The punch through is really important here. But the thing is, you need 450 armor to get the punch through. And what I would usually do is to slap like a blue shard and to get steel fiber to push that above 450 armor. Okay, so on the third evolution we can choose between base magazine capacity, on reload from empty 100% reload speed, and the third one is going to be minus weapon recoil. I personally prefer to just reload faster. And the fourth evolution is quite interesting. We can choose between universal damage, increased base critical chance, and plus 40% direct damage per status type. I personally go for base critical chance increase. That's the most efficient for me. I actually forgot almost to show this. If you go to options and go to accessibility, fire manual trigger weapons continuously. Enable this one if you play with Burston Prime, you're going to make it automatic. And using the weapon this way is gonna be much more fun. And also I forgot to mention, the Incarnon form of Burston Prime is fully automatic. And I'm going to show you the difference between having punch through and not having it. Okay, so I want to show you without the punch through at first. There we go. And I'm going to show you that it's not really that efficient. See? It's kinda bad. But let's say that you have the punch through. Let's just equip the steel fiber again. Okay. Let's check it out again. There we go. Let's go once again. So much more efficient, isn't it? And I also want to talk a little bit about the companion, because you really need to have Reinforced Bond and Tenacious Bond. The Reinforced is going to give you, let's check it real quick, fire rate is increased by 60%. You're going to enjoy this quite a lot. And the Tenacious Bond is going to give you final critical damage multiplier. That means that the damage that you have is going to be multiplied by 1.2, which is really going to boost your secondary and primary. And if you guys need a build when it comes to the companion, this is my build for Panzer. And I have at all times like more than 1,200 shield. And for the Tenacious Bond to be applied, I have this build for the claws. You just need to have it above 50% anyway. And I was talking about the shield to be 1,200 for the Reinforced Bond to apply. I personally go for 2 green shards for complete armor strip. The violet ones are for extra damage. And the blue one is obviously for the punch through. And what is fun about this Burston Prime build is that it basically works with any Warframe that you want to use. And now I'm going to give you some recommendations on which Warframes to use. My personal favorite when it comes to Burston Prime has definitely been Oraxia, and I'm going to show you my build. I mean, you can just copy this build anyway, but the most important part is that you're going to use Nourish as a subsume for extra damage, and Arcane Acceleration for extra fire rate because you don't have that much, and Arcane Blessing is basically for survivability. I just received a message once again from one of my fans. Nonjo, I'm going to find you. Thank you so much. Some people are so nice to me. And the moment you put this build together, you're going to have a lot of damage. Check this out. I've been using this build for the past week and it's the most fun build I've ever had. But even if you don't enjoy the spider frame, I still have more recommendations for you. And if you want more damage, then you have Mirage. And you can deal this much damage. And when it comes to the shards, please use the same setup that I used for Oraxia, which is this one. 2 green, 2 violet, and 1 blue for the punch through. And when it comes to the build, I usually go with this one. Once again, Nourish as a subsume, Steel Fiber for the punch through, and Arcane Acceleration for the fire rate. So the main problem with Mirage, especially with Burston Prime, you're going to suffer a lot when it comes to survivability, and you have to focus a lot more on that. But if you don't enjoy Mirage, I have another recommendation. I'm also using this build when it comes to Burston Prime, and it deals a surprising amount of damage. And also, once again, when it comes to the Archon shards, just have the Oraxia setup. 2 green, 2 violet, and 1 blue for the punch through. And this is my go-to build, with Arcane Acceleration, Multi Augmented, and of course, Nourish. Oh, okay, so the next Warframe that I recommend is basically for the people that just want to turn their brain off, and that is Revenant. This little chunker is one of my favorite Warframes. When it comes to the Archon shards, just repeat the same processes as the other Warframes. And, you know, once again, 2 green, 2 violet, and 1 blue. And the build that I would recommend with Burston Prime is going to be this one. And once again, you're going to be invincible with Mercenary Skin, the roar is going to give you damage, Arcane Acceleration for the fire rate, and Multi Augmented for even more ability strength. And you can exchange Dreamer's Bond with Growing Power in case you want more ability strength. And if you are going to format this build a little bit, you can also get Power Drift here for extra ability strength. Okay, let's check it out. Now that's a lot of damage. Okay, now that I've actually tested this one, I think I'm going to use this instead of Oraxia. Okay, let's say that you want to invest a bit more in this build. What would you go for Riven? Well, to be honest, on my Burston Riven I have damage to Grenier, critical damage and critical chance. And I would love to have, instead of damage to Grenier, universal damage like Serration for example. That would actually make it perfect for me. So if you actually have some Kuva around, just try to buy like one of the cheapest Rivens from the market. It is going to be around 50 platinum, so just reroll it yourself. because a Riven with damage, critical damage and critical chance can go up to 1000 platinum or even more. So in my opinion, it's gonna be more efficient to use the Kuva and reroll it yourself. So for example, if I'm going to equip my build with the Riven, you are going to see a much higher damage, obviously. Let me just give you an example. Check this out. But once again, not even my Riven is considered to be a god roll. And the best one is going to be 3 positives, damage, critical damage and critical chance, and to also have a negative, for the positives to actually get as high as possible. Hey there, I think that was everything for today. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed the build. I actually like it so much, it was so fun for me to make it. Thank you for watching, and as always, if you enjoyed the content, then feel free to subscribe.